Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie Rose, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my weight loss journey and how I lost 50 pounds in 5 months. Before I begin, I just wanted to quickly throw out there that I'm in no way an expert in health and fitness. This is simply my story about how I lost weight and what worked well for me, just some tips and tricks that I did, and hopefully this video serves as inspiration for others that are looking to lose weight. So I really don't like the word diet. That word to me is just so negative, and it just, the thoughts that come with that word are like deprivation, starving, and just not getting to have anything good. And I mean, I know diets work, but I just don't like that word. I like to use the word journey, because for me this wasn't really a diet. I didn't really diet. This was more of a lifestyle change and a journey to become healthy overall. Just saying, I like the word journey. The word diet is very don't like dieting. So I'm gonna give a little bit of history about my weight and a little bit of background about my body type, just to give a little bit of context. So I've always been a little bit, I guess you can say, on the thicker side. I would put on weight easily. I would lose weight easily. That's just, it's genetics. It's how my family is. We put on weight easy. We can lose it very easy as well. It was in middle school when I really started noticing the weight gain and noticing that it was kind of like something I had to deal with. Middle school is when you start to become really conscious about your looks and about, what people think about you. You start talking to boys, start talking to the girls, and, you just become very conscious about how you look. So I started becoming very conscious about, I put on weight easily. That's when I started to realize it. So that's kind of where it all started. High school, I was very active. I played sports, did cheerleading, ran track, did softball, and all that. So weight wasn't really a problem for me in high school. It was after high school, when I went to college, where it started becoming a very big problem. Let me say the Freshman 15 is real, it's alive, and it's thriving. I experienced the Freshman 50. I gained so much weight after high school. It was just, the stress of being away from home for the first time, being away from my family, just the huge life transition from high school to college is just really, it's a lot. So, I comforted myself with food. I didn't have a kitchen. I lived in a dorm. I had to eat what they served me, which was mac and cheese and hot dogs. So college is when I started gaining weight, but then towards the end of college, I started losing weight. Then I graduated college, and that whole cycle began again when I went through a huge lifestyle change of going into the real adult world, and I was stressed, so I ate a lot and I gained lots of weight. It wasn't until last year, 2017, when I became my absolute heaviest. I was pushing 200 pounds. I will admit it, I will be transparent that I was almost 200 pounds. I was about 188, 190, and that's when I realized I gotta stop this. I gotta get in shape. So to summarize all of that up, I basically gain weight very easily, I lose it very easily. I go through a pattern every couple years where I gain weight, I lose weight, I gain weight, I lose weight. And last year was probably the worst year of my life in terms of my weight. Like I said, I was my heaviest, and it was just to a point where I was feeling very sluggish, very tired. I was feeling just so many negative emotions. I was angry at myself, I was sad, I was depressed, and most of all, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed about how I looked. I didn't like to be in pictures. I was always the picture taker. I did not want to be in any pictures. I was just completely embarrassed about letting myself get that heavy, and I just hated feeling like that. I've always been a pretty confident person, and I just really missed my confidence, and I really wanted it back. So that's really what led me to want to lose weight and to start this journey. So there's a few things that I wanted to break down about what really helped me to lose weight. So like different components that were most important. I'm gonna go in order of most important. The first thing that is most important for losing weight is your mentality. Experts say it begins with a mental change, and it really does. They're telling the truth, it does. You have to be all in it. You have to be dedicated 100%, and you have to do it all for yourself. You can't do it to impress, a group of people. You can't do it to get back at your ex. While those are good motivators, that's not gonna help you out in the end. The second most important thing when losing weight, and that worked for me, is being consistent. I'll say this right now, the first 2 weeks of any diet, journey, exercise regimen, those are gonna be the hardest weeks because you're not used to it. Your body's not used to it, so it's gonna be so hard. But I'm just telling you now, you just can't give up. There's so many times in the past where I started, to eat healthy and to exercise, and, after 3 days, I would eat a cheeseburger and I would just say, well, that's it. I lost. There's no point in continuing because it's just the burger ruined it. So you can't think like that, and I've learned so many times that that's just not you know, that doesn't work. I read in many places that after the first 21 days is when your body starts to understand what's happening, and it starts to actually crave healthy foods, and it starts to reject unhealthy foods. I remember about a month after I started eating healthy, I ate a piece of fried chicken from Popeyes, and I just remember I ate a bite, my first bite, and I was just like, this is not good. Like, why did I ever like this? And after eating the whole piece of chicken, my stomach, it was not happy. I felt sick, I felt nauseous, I felt like I wanted to throw up. And even though I was feeling so sick, I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, my body doesn't like this. That's great. Like, I'm gonna not crave any more junk food. But it is true, you know, your body really starts to reject unhealthy food after eating healthy for so long. And so it's really important to stay consistent for at least a couple weeks. As hard as it is, you just gotta really push through and just know that after those 2 or 3 weeks, it will get easier. So after about a month of eating healthy and working out and changing my lifestyle, I started to see results. I lost about 10 to 15 pounds the first month, and that's ultimately what kept me going and kept me going for the next 4 to 5 months. The joy of seeing, you know, that you've made progress is uncomparable to any other joy in life. Maybe childbirth or getting married, those are probably good moments. But the joy of seeing that all the hard work you are doing is paying off, whether it's with weight or at work or in life in general, like that feeling is so rewarding, and I loved that feeling. So that's what really kept me going. So after mentality and consistency, the next most important thing for me was eating. Your girl loves food. There is no food on this earth that I do not like, except for mushrooms. No, I don't like mushrooms. I would overeat and stuff myself to the point where I couldn't breathe. That's just literally how I ate all the time. I couldn't stop, I couldn't control myself. So the biggest thing for me was limiting my portions and starting to control what I'm eating, and eating to the point where I feel comfortable and full but not overstuffed. So that was the biggest thing. And I didn't cut out sweets, I didn't cut out junk food all on the same day. I didn't do cold turkey because that has never worked for me in the past. I eased into it gradually. So I first started off with limiting my portions, and then after that, you know, I started cutting out soda, and then I started cutting out restaurant food, fast food. But the biggest thing that I did at first, which really helped me to stay consistent, was to limit my portion. And like I mentioned before, once you start eating these healthy foods for a while, for a couple of weeks, your body will start to reject the unhealthy foods. Eating for me the first 2 weeks was very, very difficult. I think that was probably the most difficult thing for me, was controlling my eating. But, you know, I didn't do it cold turkey, and that's really what helped me to keep going. Another thing that helped with controlling my eating was counting calories. I know a lot of people feel iffy about counting calories. You know, they think it's just too much, you know, you're too pressed, you know, it's unhealthy. But to me, you know, there isn't a healthy way to count calories. If you're intaking the healthy amount of calories, then I think, you know, you'll be good. There's this book I had a while ago, and it was about counting calories, and there is a formula that you plug in. You plug in your ideal weight, your goal weight, and then you plug in your, like, you have a number for how active you are. So whether you're very active, moderately active, or mildly active. So you plug in the number that you are, you multiply that with your goal weight, and the result will give you the amount of calories that you need to intake. So my result was 1,690 calories, 1,690 calories is how much I needed to intake each day to meet my goal weight. So just keeping that in mind, I read nutrition labels, I kept track of the amount of calories I had in my head. You could also write it down. I know a lot of people do that, but I just kept track of it in my head, and I would just use the calculator on my phone to keep track of how many calories that I've had so far in the day. So counting calories really helped. And I'm gonna try to find that online calculator that I talked about, and I'll put that link in the description below. So the next most important thing is obviously exercising. You need to exercise to lose weight. Exercising was always kind of a struggle for me because I can't stand the gym. I don't like the gym, I don't enjoy it. It's just very boring to me. The cardio is literally the worst. Running the treadmill is just boring. I used to run the elliptical, which was tolerable, but I still didn't enjoy it. And I feel like I wasn't really getting the most out of my workouts. What really helped for me was finding a workout that I love, and that workout is spinning, cycling, and going to spin class. I went to my first spin class last fall, and I pretty much had an asthma attack. My first class, I was dying. I was like, I don't know how people do this. I could never do this. I will never come back. Guess what? I came back. I came back 4 days a week for the past like 7 months. I really enjoy cycling just because of the feeling you get mentally and physically. You get such a good workout. You burn so many calories. I wear my Apple Watch during my workouts and it tells me I burn about 400 to 600 calories each session, which is 50 minutes. And I have never had a workout that intense before where I burn so many calories. Like never. I've never had a workout that great before. And there's just a feeling it gives you. It mentally refreshes you. I could have the worst day at work and I could just go into spin class feeling so happy and lifted and just feeling so amazing. And I love the feeling it gave me both physically and mentally. And I also recently read a study online that said out of 1.2 million people surveyed, the most effective exercise for mental health is actually group, classes. So whether it's yoga or Zumba or a spin class, anything with a group, that is the best for your mental health. Finding a workout that you love and sticking to it, that's really what ultimately led me to lose weight. So another thing I recommend is having some sort of watch where you can keep track of how many calories you're burning and how many steps you're taking. So like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, those are really helpful. I have an Apple Watch and I wear that every day. I wear it to work so I can keep track of how many steps I take during the day. I try to get between 5,000 and 7,000 steps per day. And then also I like to keep track of how many calories I burn each workout I do. So there's this really cool app on the Apple Watch. I don't remember what it's called. It's a little green circle, but you can choose what activity you're doing. So whether you're hiking or running or cycling, you can choose that and it'll tell you how many calories you burn each workout. So I always turn that on every time I go to spin class. So I like to keep track of how many calories I burn. It really motivates me and it really, keeps me feeling like I'm in check of myself. Another thing that really helped me was not checking the scale every day, because in the past what I would do was I would check my weight like every day or maybe once every other day, and you don't lose a pound every day. You're not going to see changes every single day. And to me that was discouraging. I would look at the scale every day, it wasn't changing or it was changing very slowly, and my mindset would be, oh, it's not working, this isn't working, no point, the scale says I'm not losing weight, so there's no point. So what I did was I only checked my weight on the scale probably once a month, if that. I remember when I first started working out and losing weight, I checked after a month and it said I lost 10 pounds, and that's what kept me going. And then the next time I found out my weight, it wasn't until I actually went to the doctor's office and she was like, oh my god, you lost 20 pounds, like what have you been doing, like good for you, because your doctor wants you to be healthy. So that's really what kept me going also, was hearing that feedback from my doctor. But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't check the scale every day because it is discouraging and it will, cause you to just not keep going. So that's pretty much how I lost weight. Right now I'm at my current weight goal. I'm around 148, 149, which is actually healthy for my body type. I am big boned and I have, muscle, so that is a healthy weight for me. I'm very happy where I am right now, but I always see room for improvement. For now, my biggest thing is maintaining the weight loss. Like I said before, my weight fluctuates. I will lose weight for 2 years and gain it all back. Lose it, gain it, lose it. So I'm really trying to avoid that this time. And for me, I think it's really just about keeping that mentality the same. And that mentality is living a healthy lifestyle. I'm in my mid-20s. I'm not, in my teens anymore. I really have to start thinking about the future of my health and my body, and I want to live a long time, so I have to really start maintaining my healthy body now. For me, that's just continuing to eat healthy, continuing to limit my portions and not overeat, and also not depriving myself of food. I'll go to McDonald's every now and then. I won't beat myself up for it. It's really about loving yourself and not beating yourself up. And I also continue to, go to spin class. I don't go as often as I used to, but I do go a couple times a week, or I try to, just because, I enjoy it. It's good to see the people, and the instructors are all like amazing people. And yeah, I'm just continuing what I started doing, and, eating healthy, and, just having that mentality, and also just thinking about my future. And I want to have a very healthy body on the inside and out. So yeah, I think that just about covers everything I wanted to touch on. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. I'll be putting out more videos about my health and fitness. Maybe I'll do like an update in a couple months about how I've maintained my weight. Yeah, stay tuned if you'd like to see more. Subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.